Mike, did Mike seem affected at all yesterday throwing with the ribs?
No. It's he took some shots obviously in the game. Even if he did, he wouldn't say it. He's a tough dude. So no, the answer would be no.
What have you seen from Zach the last couple of weeks during this reset?
Yeah, he approached it in the right way, like we talked about. His mindset's in the right place. He understood why this was needed, and he made the most of it. He got to play in a pocket against one of the better defenses in football for a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday practice. Yes, it's not live bullets, but that's where you get better. That's where you get to, again, reset your mind and just go play football and work on those the lower half fundamentals that we talked about. So I thought he's done a good job with it. He's attacked it, and that's why we elevated him back to number 2.
Is there an area you saw the most growth from him?
No, I'm not going to get into the specifics with all that. Again, he's in a good place in terms of just that mental reset of not having to put all the time and thought into the scheme and what needed to get done on a Sunday, and just go out there and play football, the essence of football, and having fun, and again, getting your completions, playing fundamentally sound, and going about that.
When you look at this offense, I know it wasn't even with Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, it seems like it works its best when the run game's going. So how much of an addition has Bam been to kind of get back to this offense back to when it usually was?
Yeah, no, it's every week's going to be a little bit different. Buffalo's a pretty good defense. I'll answer your question in a second. They make it tough, especially when you're playing on the road there. And we didn't get the run game going enough. Now, Bam, I thought it got going at times. There were spurts where it was going at times, but we had way too many negative runs that put us in bad situations. But to answer your question, he's just brought element of juice and toughness that our offense needed, our team needed, like I talked about last week. He runs hard, and he's gotten an opportunity. He's made the most of it.
If anything, you don't want anything to happen to Mike, but if anything happens, are you confident that Zach is in the right place in terms of he doesn't want to prove himself all over again and show, after what happened last time that
I am, because he has confidence in himself. The players have confidence in him, and we as coaches have confidence in him. So, yeah, I am.
Why? Is there anything you guys can do to start faster on offense and have more success in the first half?
Yeah, we can execute better. That's what it always comes down to is execution. And I always say that, and a lot of times that's putting it on the players. I put execution, as I've always said, on coaches. We got to come out. We got to execute better right away. It's not a difficult game if we don't make it difficult, and that's where the first let's just say quarter, first 2 drives, there's been maybe 1 or 2 breakdowns that can kill a drive, and when you play good defenses, that can't happen. So I don't think we're far away. I think we as in position coaches and the players make the necessary adjustments to get going. But again, you want to start fast, you want to finish fast, and you want to play well all the way in between. We haven't started well. We finished well in some games. We've played well in the second, third quarter in some games. I'm still waiting for the complete game, and that's on me to get that going. It's on the position coaches and then the players to follow suit.
Mike, you guys have put up some good yardage numbers in recent weeks, especially in the passing game, but the Chicago game notwithstanding, you really haven't found the end zone that often. Is there any particular reason why you think it's just not happening?
Yeah, it's we talked about what happened a week ago in Minnesota. When you're 1 for 6 in the red zone, you're not scoring points. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, had a lot more points there. We didn't get it done. And again, that falls on me. There was execution breakdowns from the 20 in that are unacceptable. Versus Buffalo, it was kind of opposite. And I know Salah talked about this maybe Sunday or Monday, but it was the opposite game of the first time we played them. We stayed ahead of the chains in the first the game we played them. We didn't turn the ball. We had the 1 turnover, but we got the ball right back off a Sauce's pick and put us in the red zone and scored 2 plays later. We were -2 in the turnover battle. We moved the ball in spurts, but again, it doesn't really matter how many yards you get. It doesn't matter how much you move the ball. You got to finish with touchdowns, particularly in December, particularly when you're playing against good teams. And we got to get that done. We got to get that corrected.
Is there anything that you can use? Because it seems like the last couple of games, you guys come out in the second half and you're firing on all cylinders, and there's your fast start, if you will. Is there anything you can take from what you're doing in halftime to come out strong in the third quarter to replicate it when you started off a game, or is it just like you said?
It's the same thing, you know. I mean, it's not like we're running these new special plays coming out of this, you know, the second half. I like to think we make the proper adjustments, but at the flip side, they're making their adjustments too. You know, we still were behind the chains in that first series of the second half. Could have gone one way or another, and on third down we executed, and we executed at a very high level. The line gave Mike enough time in protection. The receivers were separating, and they made a lot of big plays. And once you string together a couple first downs, you know, wear down a defense, and you know it's not easy to obviously score at that point, but it's easier. And you know, that's what we did in the second half there, that first drive. But again, the message all week to the players is when we execute, I don't care in the first quarter, the fourth quarter, you're a tough offense to stop. But we're not executing at the level that we need to be in December to get to where we want to get to.
Quarterback is obviously the only position where after the game they put a win or a loss next to your name. Do you think finding ways to win for a quarterback is a skill that can be coached up, or do you think it's more innate that you either have it or you don't?
I mean, yes, the quarterback's always going to be the one when you win. He's going to get too much praise. When he loses, he's going to get, you know, knocked to the curb too fast. But it takes all 11. It takes all 22. It's going to take everybody, you know, on the team to win a football game, you know. So I'm never going to sit there and say it's, you know, the quarterback ever won us or lost us the game. It takes all 11.
After what happened with all the pressure and hits in Buffalo, how much of an emphasis is on shoring up pass protection?
Yeah, that's a good question, Rich, because that one was it was disappointing in terms of usually when you have that much pressure. We had the 4 sacks, we had the 1 sack fumble. It's a lot of times attributed to third down being behind the chains. Our third down protection was pretty dang good. Our guys, when Buffalo knew we were throwing the ball, we protected really well. That's what the random part about this whole thing was. It was the first and second down play pass, the play actions where we had uncharacteristic fundamental issues in lack of execution. That just killed drives, and that can't happen, and especially when you're playing a team like Buffalo. We'd have a drive going, I'd call a play pass, and for one reason or another, not to get into specifics, but we'd just have a breakdown. And it's stuff that we got to get fixed and fix fast.
How much of a skill is it in Mike's ability to, even when he is getting hit, obviously you don't want him to be, but when he's getting hit, he's still delivering the passes? Like,
Yeah, because he's not watching the pass rush. You know, he's going to stand in there, and if he has to take the hit, he's going to take the hit. You know, you saw the first one that he delivered to Elijah Moore on the over to get the explosive. You know, I don't believe that hit should have happened if we as coaches get that short up. But you know, again, he's not watching the pass rush. He's playing quarterback. He's playing with his feet in the ground. He's playing with his base, and he's going to deliver whatever ball is necessary, you know, for the offense.
What have you seen from Elijah Moore lately?
His smile, and he's having fun out there, you know, and I know, you know, Sal alluded to it the other day. His numbers are up in terms of just his speeds and all that, and he's just in a good place. And I thought he came back after the bye and just, you know, he talked himself into making sure that he's having fun out there, and it all correlates when you just have a positive attitude and you're excited to come to work every day. Good stuff usually is going to follow. He's a great kid, and he works his butt off. And you know, it stinks and it's not even his fault. It's no one's fault. It's what happened. But he's in a good spot right now, and I couldn't be happier for him.
I was going to ask how you think he's responded over the last couple of weeks, or shown since what happened earlier in the season, how he's grown. Like
a pro, you know, too fast, you know, for a lot of these guys. He's not a rookie, but he's a second-year guy. He's a young man still who's got a lot of football in this league, and he's still going to continue to grow, and we've had those talks. Just because you're getting into your second year doesn't mean everyone's got it all figured out yet. There's always going to be a growth, and you know, he went through a period that was just different for him. You know, he had such a good string of games, not just statistically, but just the way he was playing and when he wasn't getting the ball, and there's a lot of factors into that, and there's a lot of factors why the stats and the production weren't showing up early, but he still was playing pretty good ball, and you know, it was a great learning experience. That you don't want to ever have to go through that, but we did. He battled through it. We battled through it as an offense, and he's in a great place. And again, I'm really happy for him.
Building off of Zach's question real quick is about Mike taking hits that maybe you don't necessarily want. I think it was his other quarterbacks. I remember Eli Manning, like early throughout his career, one of the ways he would stay healthy is he would stand tall in the pocket, the pressure would come down, but as the guys closed in on him, he was able to like contort his body while still throwing to like almost not really absorb the hit while still taking the hit.
Yep.
Is that something you can teach?
Yeah, I mean it's that's a really good question, Connor, because Jimmy Garoppolo was very similar with that. He could throw and kind of contort the body to, limit. You're still going to take the hit. You still got to step into balls to be accurate and be consistent. But there's an art to it, to say that we can sit there and work the drills and stuff. We just kind of pointed out, and you pointed out into Eli's a good example because there's a similar body type there to Mike, right, in terms of their skill set. So you can point those kind of things out, So it's something that, again, yes, I do believe you can work on it, but it's not going to just happen overnight.
On the Milano hit, it's so unusual to see an inside linebacker get such a free runner at the quarterback. What happened there?
Yeah, that's again, it goes back to what I was just saying. Third down protection was really, really good, and that was a play pass protection that we can't have a free runner like that. I'm not going to get into the specifics. It's my job to get that corrected. It's offensive line, John Benton's job to get that corrected, and for the players to understand what we're asking right there to make sure that never happens again.